A graveyard for children. That is how Gaza was described this week by my guest, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He's just one of the UN officials sounding the alarm on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The human rights chief called it a living nightmare. The head of the UN's relief agency has said hell is settling in there. And the leader of the World Health Organization told the Security Council on Friday that in the Strip, nowhere and no one is safe. So, what can the UN do to stop it? Secretary General Guterres joins me now. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me ask you to begin with. Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, was just on CNN, and he says, quote, "I'd like to see the UN Secretary General, who basically laid the blame on Israel, lay the blame on these savages to demand that they obey international law because Israel is fighting according to international law." What is your reaction?
Well, that's simply not true. I mean, when you are in the UN and you face a situation that is as horrible and as messy as this is, you must stick to principles. And since the very beginning, I have condemned Hamas. What Hamas did is horrific. Terror attacks, slaughtering women and children. And I've been very clear in the condemnation of Hamas. But there is a basic principle for me, is that Hamas is not the Palestinian people. And you need to be able to distinguish Hamas from the Palestinian people. And so you cannot use the horrific things that Hamas did as a reason for a collective punishment of the Palestinian people. And then there is a second dimension that I believe is very important. And what I've been saying has been completely distorted. And I've been saying there are grievances of the Palestinian people. Of course there are.
You said, let me quote you, you said, it's important to recognize the attacks by Hamas did not happen in a vacuum. So tell us what is the context?
Of course there are grievances. Grievances with 56 years of occupation, the settlements being constructed, the evictions, the progressive lack of hope of the Palestinian people that there will be a two-state solution. But in the same sentence I said, but none of these grievances justify the barbaric attack of Hamas. And it's very interesting because when this is commented by the Israeli government or the ambassador or whatever, they put the first part of the sentence, but they take out the second part of the sentence. And obviously, the barbaric attacks of Hamas do not justify the collective punishment of the Israeli people, and the grievances of the Palestinian people do not justify the barbaric attacks of Hamas. We must stick to principles. And another principle, if I may, I mean, in the face of God, the life of any person has the same value, be it American, Portuguese, Israeli, or Palestinians.
Do you